people out there, the listeners and the viewers who don't know, what kind of rush do you get from it? Or you just straight, it's no rush, it's just normal activity for you?
Yeah, it was just normal activity. But I think I got a rush from it because, like I said, if I want it, I'm taking it. And I love the fact that I can just do what I want.
Mm.
I was intoxicated off of making other people fear me, watching them tremble, watching them have trepidation, watching them have fear when I walked through or drove through. It was a high.
Mm.
It was a high. But I think now when I look at it back from an intelligent point of view, from an intellectual point of view, I think it was just me suffering from an identity crisis.
Mm.
I look at it now, we wanted to be important. We wanted to be seen. We wanted to be felt. And the only way that I knew how to do that was to commit a crime.
Mm.
If I had a gift and a talent, or if I was aware of my gifts and talents at that time, I'm pretty sure that my life would have turned out a lot different. But because that's what gave me recognition, that's what gave me power. That's what I continue to do because everybody recognized me for my talent of brute force, brutality, mayhem, bloodshed.
Mm.
And that's all I knew.
So you come up in the neighborhood and people knew when they seen you, like, it was just automatic, anything can happen at any moment when I come around.
Sometimes I have to walk on one side of the street and everybody go on the other side of the street. Mind you, I'm a kid. I ain't even 18 yet. Sometimes I wasn't even 14, 15 yet.
Mm.
But I grew up, like I said, we was shooting them guns very, very early. Very early. And this is why I can identify with the wayward youth today. The people that's what we call to be the demons and the savages. Well, I was a savage. I was a demon because anybody who's a demon or savage, a person who lost their cultural identity, their political identity, they sense of self, they sense of purpose, their self-worth, that was me.
Mm.
That's why I can really identify with them. I identify with them 110%.
Wow. So you get away with that situation in the Dunkin' Donuts. How was life after that? What was going on? I mean, I'm assuming it was the same old program. And what led you to the next arrest? What happened then?
Well, the next arrest, we end up, like I said, man, it's like I didn't even know how to turn it off at this point. This is what I knew. I've done this every day. Anybody that know me or watch this segment, they say, that's him. He ain't lying.
Mm.
We robbed about 10, 20, 30 people a day. This is what I did religiously.
Was this like hopping out of the car, walking down the street?
Sometimes it's walking down the street, sometimes hopping out of the car, sometimes it's robbing a supermarket, sometimes it's robbing a cash place, sometimes robbing a jewelry store, sometimes it was a crap game. I just did what I felt like doing when I felt like doing it.
If you can talk about it, like how much money is that per day, like normally, like doing something like that? How much was you making per day, like living that type of lifestyle of robbing 10, 20 people a day?
Well, you can network. I mean, depending if you got your squad with you, and it might be 4 or 5 of y'all might network about 4,000 or 5,000 a day. But you got to remember, at this time, we adolescents. We 12, 13, 14 years old. We driving cars, wearing Rolexes, wearing Gators. So it seemed like a lot of money to us at the time. But even though we had a block doing 80, 90, 100,000 a day, we wasn't interested in that money. We was interested in the adrenaline rush, that fear, that power.
So did the people that was on the block making that type of money, did they fear that y'all would do something to them?
I'm pretty sure they did. Definitely. Our squad was a vicious squad. We was a vicious squad at that time. And in those days, we was called the lowlifes.
So I'm assuming those people who had those drug blocks, they had fear. So I'm assuming that if y'all came to them for some money, they would just give it to you, like, here you go.
Of course. Money at that time wasn't even, money was no money at that time because you could make $1,000 every 15 minutes. So, I come up in the area when people was betting cars, betting houses, betting deeds. Like 10,000 was nothing. You could make that in 15, 20 minutes.
And dice games?
Yes.
What's the biggest dice game you robbed? You robbed dice game before. What's the biggest dice game you robbed? And where was it at?
Well, down North Philadelphia, Puerto Rican land. About 9,500. But in a lot of jewelry.
What happened that day? You was there gambling and decided just...
I never gambled a day in my life. I just, I just jump out on anybody's strip, whether it was 7th and Pike, whether it was 8th and Cayuga, whether it was Waterloo Street. We knew all the major strips, J Street, everybody who had a block doing 80, 90,000 a day, we knew where they were at. Even at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old.
And describe for me, you can, like, because a lot of people understand that, people get robbed and stuff like that. What happens, like if you rob somebody, what are you looking for? What is an all-tell sign that they scared to death?
I ain't care if they wasn't scared. I would just look at you if you wasn't scared, you crazy. Because I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot. I done shot over 20 people in my lifetime. I'm going to shoot you. I didn't have no fear. I didn't have no humanity. My humanity was lost. I had no sense of cultural awareness. I had no identity whatsoever, man, outside of criminality.
Wow.
I didn't even love myself, so I didn't care about nothing and no one else. And the people that was around me facilitated those emotional feelings because they had those same kind of feelings. Now, I think I was a little worse off because, I'm running and gunning. I had some dudes, maybe they just was robbery boys. Some people was pickpocket boys. Some boys was smashing and grab boys. I ain't had no lane. If I want to get up and shoot you, I'm going to shoot you today. I'm going to kidnap you tomorrow. I'm going to sell drugs the day after that. I'm going to carjack somebody 3 days after that. I ain't have no lane. And that's what made me unpredictable.
So what goes into what makes you determine that I'm gonna shoot somebody? Like if you were in the middle of a robbery, what happens to me? I'll make you want to shoot them.
Cause I don't know, man. Like this was so crazy, right? And this was almost what made it hard for me to make parole because I was unable to really process emotionally, psychologically, and intelligently why did I do the things that I did. Besides the look that I got from popping them, making them fear me. It was an adrenaline. It was a high. So you didn't have to move. You know how they say, well, he moved wrong. You didn't even have to move wrong. Well, I felt like, man, I'm gonna shoot you because I know I'm gonna get away. That's why I did it, because I know I'm gonna get away with it.
What are some of the reactions of some of these victims who were shot? Like, what are some of the reactions that you can remember for someone who got shot, or the most? I'll say the reaction that you remember the most.
Them begging and pleading to me not to kill them. Just screaming for their life. Just take it. But it wasn't about me wanting what you have. I just want your life. If that's what I feel like doing.
So that you just gave you power. Like, I'm like.
It was a sickness, man. When I look at it now from an adult point of view and looking at it from, in retrospect, man, I was sick. You know what I mean? That's why I know that criminality is a sickness. Just like drug, they say it's a sickness. It's a disease, and it's illness, it's neurosis of the mind. I truly concur with that because I was sick. I was sick, man. I was sick. And I'm, of course the residue was still there because the bulk of my life was spent in jail. And when I was there, anybody that knew me from there know that, man, he ain't gonna be here long. I go into a jail, they say, man, he ain't gonna be here long. 6 months, 3 months, 5 months. I'm cracking somebody in the head, I'm stabbing somebody, I'm on to the next. And it's the same kind of behavior that I had on the streets. I didn't go to the jail and change and metamorph to somebody different because I didn't have a gun. I was angry. And I didn't really know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't really know how to psychologically process where my illness came from. That came on later down the line when I started doing introspection and self-reflection, looking deep within my mind and being honest with my findings.
Wow. So let's go back to your arrest that led you to doing state time.